reading. I'm pretty much set up. We're just going to see what comes through, what I can pick up on, what it is you need to know for your highest good when you click on this video. I tend to make sure that what you receive is the truth and nothing but the truth. So just let me shuffle a few more times and then we can get into it. And yeah, I saw some of you made your way to Patreon, made me very happy. Welcome, you're welcome to join there. Anyone that's new here, make sure to check that out. You get exclusive content over there. It's all links below. So it will just take you there and you can seep through and go through the website. Okay, I'm going to start with 3 cards. Okay. Well, I'm picking up on someone who's either like doing the finances or is going through the finances and is somewhat like I can pick up on tension. I feel the tension it's like in the chest. But I can't really pick this because it looks like some old fears are flaring up, because the energy is quite stable and it does have to do with finances. So in this case, I am speaking to someone or reading for someone like you seemingly wouldn't have anything to worry about, but you still do. Can you tell me more about that? I'm hearing that you may not be where you want to be at, like you feel like you can like reach for higher, or there's like a sort of gap that you've been trying to fill or are filling. Tell me more. Okay, so I'm picking up on someone who's sort of rethinking their career choices, and that seems to be contributing to this like, so the gap that I picked up on isn't only, you know, like, I'm not even sure if you're thinking that way of like, oh, I need to earn more. It's more like I'm seeing the connection between, oh, there's certain career choices, wanting to change career, looking at your finances. If something should go wrong, can I bridge the gap? Like, I'm getting a mixture of emotions. It's a sort of mixture of like excitement, also of like hope and faith and, you know, trust in yourself or trust in whatever you're getting drawn towards or pulled towards, or the opportunities that are presenting themselves with the Seven of Cups. You can speak of there being, you know, like sitting at a table, sitting at a buffet, and you do recognize and you realize you have a multitude of choices. And this could also speak of you having, you may be drawn to different career choices, like there's not just one, or if not career choices point blank, different job offers. So you can still tweak it a bit how it's showing up in your life specifically, because it is a general reading, but the energy is very much one of like, it's quite open and like feeling more, I feel more abundant tapping into this. Yet when there's that more like logical, rational part coming in of like, oh, opening and checking your bank account, checking your balance, that's where the anxiety and the sort of like constriction comes in. So let's just see what you need to know about that, or what might help you ease that feeling, because it doesn't feel very comfortable. So Spirit is saying that, you know, you seem to be building something, you know, like I'm hearing take like step by step is what I heard really loud just when I touched the card. But they're showing me that you are building something, and when you build something from the ground up, it takes time, especially, you know, it looks like whatever you are building or whatever you are building towards is on solid grounds. And for some reason I'm just remembering what came through in the last reading, where I was talking more about my point, like I was sharing a little bit about my life, and I was saying, well, you know, I didn't like someone being proud of where I've gotten to, because I didn't do it, you know, I did it with pure intentions. I didn't lie, I didn't slander anyone's name, I didn't need to hoodwink anyone, I didn't need to steal from anyone. And I'm being reminded of that because the energy is somewhat, it's like I'm hearing if it takes longer for you, because you may be doing it from the heart, from the soul. You know, basically when you're building something from the heart, from the soul, it may take longer. Also when you're doing it in an honest way, you know, you, like I was saying, I was being reminded of that, of what I was sharing. So there's a reason I'm being reminded of that. It may take longer, but it will be solid, like brick. Like, I literally heard it will be hard to break that down. But also it's a reflection of your internal, like, it's a reflection of your spirit, which is really, really interesting that it just came through. Because the saying what you are building is honorable, and it is a reflection of your spirit. Also, I'm hearing an extension, so you can see it as like an extension of your creations that come from your heart, from your soul. So it's like an extension of you. So it kind of reflects also what you are building is reflecting your values, the values that you have, and or that's what it will show. And we are talking about spiritual matters here, so you are doing this in an honest way, and it's not so much about others coming in and trying to break it down, which they may try, you know. It looks like you can withstand the test of time, what you are building towards, or what you are transitioning in, like, my soul, my heart is pushing me in a direction where this was what I was picking up on at the beginning. So it could be that there's certain people that are different stages of this. Some are just at the beginning of like, well, you know, I'm realizing I don't have to stay at my 9-to-5 job or whatever job you're working, corporate job or whatever job you've been working. I don't have to stay there. Like, I actually can venture out. And then others have already done that and are more in this energy of like, okay, yeah, it may be slower, the build up may be slower, but it's actually like the bricks that I am laying are being the neat, they like the withholding. There's already been certain storms, but they haven't blown away, like the standing strong, and that gives you like a solid foundation to build upon. So even if it's not a full, you know, tower yet, basically the message is it's paying off. That is that it may take longer if you are someone to compare. I don't know if that's what someone needs to hear. If you do have a tendency of comparing yourself, so I just heard, weirdly enough, that some of you or someone here can expect like blowing up overnight. I just got a sense that like it may feel slow, and then suddenly it shifts overnight. But you know, you can tell me that even if it's down the line, you can come back to this video and tell me about it. But yeah, that's just the main energy when like surrounding, I guess this is more career, is one of like encouragement to stay on the ball. And I'm also hearing don't compare yourself, because that's not gonna, you have people already admiring you. Apparently you may think like you've just laid like 2 or 3 bricks, but you've already got people admiring you, like they're already taking notes and checking in on you, checking where like you're already further along than what you apparently feel like you are, where you are at. And it also speaks of a visionary. I'm getting Aquarius energy, but you know, it could just be the archetype in itself that is just moving through you and is setting up something with you that does apparently reflect your vision, or the vision that you have for the life that you want to live. So I think I'm gonna move on for this, maybe more comes through, but I just see a lot of like, I see a lot of, well, a lot, I'm just seeing, there's definitely an energy here coming through of collaboration, but when I tap into that, the recipient, like the querent of this reading who I'm reading for, there's like some resistance towards that. So I don't know if you are like either a bit of a lone wolf, or you don't really like working with people or the idea of working with people. But then when I say working, they're correcting me, and they're saying it's not even about working, it's more about creating together. But that can also speak of a relationship, like in relationships, whatever relationship, whether it's friendship, whether it's, you know, project, you're working on a project with multiple people, whether you're just gathering with multiple people, there's like a synergy that happens between all of your energies. So that's where I'm getting a bit of a resistance, because you may have been merging, or you may have been doing that when it didn't feel aligned, like you didn't feel fully aligned with the other or with the others. So I'm sensing a little bit of like apprehension here, a little bit of, which doesn't have to be bad, it's more like they just want you to, they want you to remind yourself that you have come a long way. You know, also with the Wheel of Fortune being the underlying energy, you have learned a lot to get you where you're at right now. Like also with the Queen of Swords clarifying all of this, you apparently have learned how to, it's not even about protecting yourself, but I did hear protect yourself. The main word in this case is boundaries, and boundaries is a form of you protecting yourself, but it's specifically for you really heeding and allowing, like validating when you don't feel aligned with someone or something, especially moving forward, because you are on a fast, like it looks like here with the Chariot that you're moving at a quite fast pace, and there's a lot of people watching you. I keep getting that there's like there seems to be people watching you, like you are further along than what you yourself either admit, or you don't seem to see yourself how others see you, which is very common. But it just seems like you inspire more people, and you are more of like, I heard leader, like you have leadership qualities, natural leadership qualities that you may not recognize within yourself, but you're like attracting a crowd and they're looking towards you for resolutions and solutions. And I'm hearing this could also be exactly where you are branching out when it comes to this new career path that is unfolding for you, because it does look like you seem to, like either you need to be someone that works a crowd is very stand-up comedian style though. I do remember I read once, and someone I think commented that there's stand-up comedian, so maybe a message for you again. But of course, working a crowd, it's not only stand-up comedian, it can be any form of entertainment. So, you know, you'll know what is meant by that if you are someone that feels drawn or is already doing work like that. But again, working a crowd as well can be in a very old school, like in a very classic way of literally standing on stage or doing something, or it can also, like if you're active on social media, you will also attract the crowd and you will work a crowd in that way. So that has like evolved. They just want me to clarify that this is still like, you could already be working the crowd and you have just never really thought of it that way. For some reason I just had the Gladiator come up, the movie. That may have significance for someone. I'll just keep going. There's just a lot of changes happening. I'm getting this really strongly with the death energy. Like, I mean, it's apparent also if we have already touched into you, like branching out, or there being new career choices, there being new options. And again, not only in career, but also this is specifically they're pointing towards relationships, where you're just attracting a new, maybe it's not new, but you're just attracting a multitude of people that just want to be around you. And that's just, again, where I understand there's a bit of apprehension, because you don't seem to want to just merge or be around just everyone. That's why I'm getting that you are a little bit discerning there, maybe more so than others that are just like, everyone coming to my house will have a fucking party or whatever. Like, you actually seem quite content working by yourself or working on your own. And it could be a topic of discussion, is what I just heard. Some apparently are questioning, are you really doing it alone, or do you have someone backing you up, or do you have people backing you up? Like, there's just sort of, I guess, gossip or just natural curiosity coming through. So you are a bit of an enigma. There is something about you that is really hard to read. But then also, apparently you can switch, because you can be like super kind, super polite, and very like adapt. I heard you can adapt, like you're someone that adapts to a situation, or adapts to the situation, or adapts to whoever you have before you. So you seem to be a bit of a chameleon, or even a shapeshifter, which is a very shamanic term or quality to have, because that will speak of like high emotional intelligence. And also I'm getting a massive shift. Or shift is just another word for like, I guess changes. I'm getting a lot of line symbolism as well, but you just seem to be, I'm saying I'm noticing a shift because they are allowing me to tune into like the energy you were in a couple of months ago. I don't know how many months. Maybe you can give me a number. As little as 2 months. There's something about you being the one that feels like, or has felt like, you needed to carry everyone's burdens. Like, whether you were consciously doing this or not, there's a sort of quality, and they're saying it's linked to this natural leadership quality that you have, that you were just naturally taking on responsibilities that weren't all your responsibilities. Or this even happens, or has happened in workplaces, where you would get put in a position as like the supervisor, or you were doing a supervisor or a manager's job without getting like paid for it. I'm hearing this in 2 ways, like that was, or that you were just being put in positions that wasn't even officially, like you weren't officially called a manager or a supervisor, or like you weren't officially put in that high position where you actually got that on the payroll, but people just naturally look towards you that way. So this is just some insight, so you know if this reading is for you, because that seems to have happened. And again, you may hear this and something will, like, the penny will drop, because you may have also not fully acknowledged that, or have been fully aware of that's a quality you have. What else? Why is this significant? Yeah, there's definitely you definitely sell yourself short massively, because the way you get viewed, the way people look towards you is like at a very high caliber. Like, you actually demand a lot of respect from people naturally, but it's like it has gotten you caught up. The reason why they're like somewhat now drilling this into your head, because due to you not having seen yourself in the position, it kind of feels to me like you never or rarely had people overtly tell you how they perceived you. Like, they would perceive you they would put you in a higher position, but instead of, like, I guess, somewhat hyping you up or uplifting you, they would either stay quiet and just observe you and study you. Like, it's as if they didn't want you to get to that top, to the top. It feels to me like they would observe you and they would know what you're capable of, or they would know, like, they would already have admiration, which can turn into envy very easily. So I understand, like, the dynamics that are going on here, because it's not like, oh, you had a crowd, or you had people watching you, and they were like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like supportive, benevolent, like, whoa, I don't know, it just feels like you didn't get a lot of that. And that's a bit of a blind spot, because that seems to have been what has caught you up, or still gets you caught up, because you don't view yourself in certain positions that are actually made for you, or you just naturally occupy. And this is really important for you to know, especially now moving where you're feeling that pull to branch out and go into different directions, or you're starting to just feel like that's an option for you. So that's already part of you, I guess, coming out of limiting self-beliefs or self-judgments that you have had, that I'm just getting a sense that others were able to profit off of you seeing yourself lower than what you actually are. You know, so I heard it's time to stop with that, because there seems to be, I keep getting, there seems to be positions out there for you that you will just naturally occupy, and it may even surprise you, because there is, I don't know, I would explain this, either you're just very humble, or you don't really like, you may have conditioning from that, or like programming from your ancestors or lineage where it wasn't fully safe for you, or you have memory from past lives. I don't know where that exactly comes from. We could look at that in a one-on-one session if you're interested and you want to know more precisely where it's coming from. But basically there's programming or pattern where it may have not been safe for you to fully be in your power, so to speak, and there seems to have been memory. So I'm just hearing that this may have manifested in your life that you would keep yourself small because you would pick up, or you would feel that others were uncomfortable in your presence. So you would kind of dumb yourself down, you know, like make yourself out as someone who wasn't as aware, or that wasn't as intelligent that you actually knew you were. Yeah, I'm hearing dumbing, like, but again, it seems to have, it was to fit in. Like, that's the part of the chameleon energy that came through. That is not, I don't know how much that served you, to be honest, because I know I said it's like, it is a very shamanic quality, but it can also, because I keep staring at the Eight of Swords, if you don't, it seems like in some instances or some situations, it can be very helpful. It can, like, I'm just thinking of a therapist. If you have that quality in your therapist, you can easily adapt to the person you have in front of you, so that they feel more comfortable, and they're feel more like it's easy for them to open up to you. You know, like, that's a quality that whoever's a therapist on here knows when you learn to somewhat mirror a person, because then they will, you know, you learn to pace yourself so that they open up at their pace. But anyway, if you're a therapist, you'll know. Because I apparently maybe talking to a therapist, their quality can help, but in your day-to-day, like, if you were around people where you felt like you needed to adapt, and you adapting meant dumbing yourself down, dimming yourself, like, that apparently is what has kept you, or has kept you in situations or in relationships or in environments that just wasn't, it just seems like it wasn't serving you. It was like it feels more like daggers, and like, it feels more like weighing you down. Like, I'm generally getting an energy of being surrounded, or again, past, where it was more like, whenever you would maybe rise, it's like it threatened whoever you were surrounded with, and then you would dim yourself again. So this seems to have been an ongoing pattern for you. And the only reason I can read it the way it's coming up is because you're actually ready to transmute that. And I do highly recommend, for some of you, a session, like a one-on-one private session, would do wonders if this really is the energy you're in, which you can book in over my website. If you want it at a more reduced discounted price, you may want to think about becoming a Sanctum member on my Patreon, because there you will get a special price. So, but yeah, if this resonates with you, this, like, doing work right now could really, like, 180 shift and help with this. Yeah, I guess it's a transition, because it's come up so much to the surface. Like, this could also look like that you are just becoming super aware, or you have like old triggers, or even it could even be people from the past somewhat either triggering you or trying to get your attention, because this does feel like an energy from the past. It's just getting pointed out again because it seems to still be either weighing heavy on your mind, or you may even have trauma around this, like you may have trauma or just still something that is binding you a little bit, where you feel like you can't fully, I don't know, it's weird. And it's like when you become like a gang member, for some reason I'm just thinking of this, and then you want to leave the gang and they all like fucking freak out, or it is like loyalty shit and you mustn't and can't leave it because you're meant to be brothers and for life. Like, I don't know, I just got like an image for that. But it's not coming from you, it's coming apparently from whoever you are surrounding yourself with. Like, they have a sort of weird twisted feeling of like they feel like they own you. They feel like they have ownership over you, and you may be a little bit blind towards that because I don't know, I'm just seeing someone who just wants to put their head down and just work and fucking, build whatever that this is that you're building. So again, you can check out what my service is. You can check out Patreon. If this is something you feel like, yeah, I need to work on this, or there's something here, because I'm only saying this because I'm seeing blindfold, so there's something here that you are not fully see, like it's coming up to the surface, which so I'm saying it's the best time to clear it and address it. But there's something you're not seeing, and I have this feeling that if I'd have you one-on-one in a different setting where I can use other tools than tarot, I could pinpoint exactly what it is, and we can address it that way. So that's an option. Let's see what else. Because something still feels restrictive, and I do feel a connection to. Well, I intuitively put the 10 of Wands on top of that. So there is still there is this energy, and this as well maybe something that you just experienced either your whole life or through lifetimes, where you were expected to carry the burdens and carry the weight and carry even the karma from people that would just make you responsible for it. So somewhat of scapegoating is a term that's coming up, but also just, yeah, I'm hearing used and abused, and abuse comes in different, as most of you must know, it comes in different forms. It can be emotional, it can be physical, it can, like, there is a bit of PTSD here, like there is definitely something very traumatic, or even like stacked up traumatic experiences that you have gone through that are still, I'm getting a sense of being just hyper vigilant about your surroundings and about who you do want to cahoot with, is what I just heard, like get under the covers with, which is understandable, like, but I'm hearing not everyone is going to be that way, and that's something you seem to be learning, or they want you to learn, that even if you do choose to open yourself up or just be a little bit softer, you still have whatever you had to learn out of those situations. You have that, in your back, like you have that in your backpack now. I'm just getting a sense you don't have to worry about repeating certain things, because your discernment is at an all-time high, and that's just reminding me of the most recent Patreon reading, the Libra one. So yeah, definitely check that out, because you're being called there. You will get a lot out of that place. It's all exclusive content and just a lot of readings, but also you become part of the pot, and it will be easy for me to pick up on your energy more specifically. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep telling you to check that out. How long are we in? I think I could keep going a little bit. Should we do some oracle cards? No, I'm just gonna try get some more information through like a different means. I just heard the reason why you're drawn to this channel is because of my logo there. The Eye of Ra. So that's the reason why you're drawn in, apparently. But yeah, there's something you did, there's something you did, or like an occupation that you held in ancient Egypt, or you have like ties, or you have connections to Kemetic. I didn't say that. I just heard the word Kemetic. Knowledge. It's just like a message that's come. There's a message that's come through, but it's not meant to come through me. That's like, it feels like you have. This is either your, like, that lifetime you had. There's a memory there, basically within your Akashic records, that is meant. There's a file that is meant to be opening up, and or you have guardians that are very connected from that time. That they want to get your awareness on something. Like, they want you to be aware of something that's going on that is connected to all of that, and like you being connected to this channel and to the logo, to the symbol, is a part of this. Yeah, you may be you may have Kemetic lineage, so it's something you may want to look into. It's not meant to come from me. That's why I'm not going to ask more. You're meant to receive that message by yourself. Like, it's meant to come. You're meant to channel that yourself, and you can. Like, you have channeling abilities. Yeah, I'm not going to dig further there because I'm getting like I'm feeling the boundary. Yeah, it's just some petty ass people. There is like an energy of like, or you may feel that there's people that have it out for you, in brackets, especially when you get into and if you get into an energy where there's like a lot shifting and a lot coming in, a lot of blessings coming in, like you feeling abundant and in alignment. There's a tendency of like, right then you either getting psychic attacks or just like, it's as if it feels like it's as if they can sniff it out, which some beings, entities can. Like, it's very common to get a bit of like a, how do you say that, like a drawback, or again, I'm feeling really restrictive. Look, to be honest, it just feels like you still have ties and tethers. Like, there's still. It's as if certain people from the past, this can be the past. This can even be like childhood shit, you know. There's still, it's not even tethers. Like, it doesn't even have to be tethers or cords or ties that need to be cut. It's more like they have influenced you and they have shaped the way you think about yourself in a way that even whether they are in your life or not, it's as if they can still, like, as if they still have the fingers and the hands within your life a little bit. And that's why I'm saying this would be a great time to address this through an energetic recalibration, like, just so that we can get rid of that energy that is still like within your field. Like, it's as if it's like it's just like containment. It feels like your aura, your mind, your thoughts have been contained by other people's bullshit. Like, it was never yours. They just saw like an easy way out of that by just kind of dumping it on another person. That's not how it works. And then also there's a sense of like, with the Chariot and this Three of Pentacles energy I kept reading, you don't seem to back down. Like, you have a very resilient spirit, in the sense that even if you do fall off the bandwagon, you just get back very easily. It's like you have that natural drive that a lot of people just don't have and never will have. So they will never reach the point that you will reach in this lifetime, because they just don't have they're either lazy. Well, they seem to be lazy because they don't want to carry their own weight. They just try looking for people that they can dump it on. So that in itself is not going to get them anywhere, because in like when it comes to evolution, also spiritual, like evolving and building something of longevity, a legacy that comes from your soul and your heart, there's no shortcuts there. Like, you need to do it the way it's panned out for you to do it. So that's what some I'm getting are really, it's dawning on them that you have full on outpaced them. Like, they will never catch up with you. So that's an explanation why when you start feeling really good, or you start, you're feeling yourself and like things are going well, and then suddenly something comes that does feel like an attack, it's just for you to know that it's, I don't really know how to explain this. Let me see. It's the only way they can get you to stop is in there. That's how they think about it. It's like, it's coming down to like, oh, the only way we can stop them is by like breaking the arm or breaking the leg so they stop. Like, it doesn't seem like you're gonna get physically hurt, although, like, it doesn't seem like that's gonna happen. I'm just saying some may have that. Like, there are people that wish a lot of harm on other people, so it could be that you have really someone who wishes like physical harm on you. But it's not to worry you, it's more to say that there are people that are very, very, very miserable, and they're very they just don't progress. They're not progressing, and that's what they're feeling. I'm getting really sweaty, and I'm getting really agitated, I'm tapping into their energy, because it's like they're watching someone make moves that they wish they could do, and they can't do it. So it's easy for them to just find a way to stop you. And they have like their little tools, and it's all coming down to slander, one is gossip, and then there's literally like, if they had the opportunity to physically harm you, some would actually may want to do that. It's just like the lowest of scum. You need to think, I'm tapping into an energy of the lowest of scum. They cannot build anything. Nothing of theirs is self-sourced. They cannot build anything that comes from within the heart and within the soul. This is also the energy of like needing to pour, I don't know, kind of like setting up hierarchies where they have like little minions that do work for them, and when one gets all the credit and the glory, like just the lowest of scum, honestly. Like, they have absolutely nothing honorable going on for themselves. And then when they see the contrast, someone like you who does, and apparently is like just shines very bright, you have like natural, I heard like starlights like already came through. You have this natural, like, you're meant, people look at you and feel like you have a quality, like a star-like quality. I don't know, that's just what I'm hearing. So you just have the lowest of scum jealous of that, because they did and envious, and they can't. There's one party that is apparently watching you, has been surrounding you, and basically you weren't hanging out with the right people, because they never wanted to see you rise into what they sensed you could rise. They wanted to be able to profit from you by staying close to you via proximity, make you responsible for all the work and everything that they don't want to do, kind of to slow you down. And again, this hierarchy that already came through, where they just get minions and they get very talented. It feels like, I don't know, like even fashion houses, I think, do that, or for some reason I'm thinking about that, where you get the most talented people, and there's one that gets all the glory from it. Like, they're not even doing much of the work, they just have the most talented people working for them, and then they get all the glory. But this, of course, in fashion houses, this is like at a more bigger level, and then as above so below, you have it in like smaller circles as well. But this is just some insight. And also, I guess, for you, for your awareness that apparently whoever you've been surrounded, but they're just, yeah, it's getting so out of hand for them. Like, that you trigger them so much, them seeing you rise, or them seeing where you are headed, or them seeing you happy, or them seeing you like being poured over with love and attention and recognition, whatever you seem to be getting or are bound to be getting, is literally like poison to their soul. So that, you know, says already all that needs to be said about these. Like, I keep hearing the lowest of scum. They're miserable, and they're gonna live, like, they're gonna die a miserable life. There's absolutely nothing you can do there. You just need to get out. Like, this is what needs to be addressed or transmuted or alchemized, so that you stop feeling like you are responsible for them, because you're not, and you were never. And this can be a pattern that emerged from a very young age. Again, I'm not sure. It's something we can look at one-on-one. Would be great to address it, because it's so here right now. But like I already mentioned, you have different options for that. You can become a Patreon member. You can book in directly one-on-one. We had a website if you're not really interested in Patreon, but there, yeah, you do get a lot out of there. Because I have a feeling this is more than just one person I'm talking about. This is a collective energy, and if it is a collective energy, I will address this more on Patreon. So yeah, thank you for being here. I'm going to close this out now, and I want to see in the next few days if anything new comes through that I feel called to pull and read on.